All right, thank you for joining us on DC News Now at noon. I'm Shanika Grimshaw. We're following breaking news at this hour. The DC Council has set a date to vote on the Washington Commanders deal, and we are getting right over to DC Chairman Phil Mendelson. They say the vote takes place on Friday, August 1st, and it comes as pressure has mounted from around the DMV, including Congress and President Donald Trump, to get a deal done to bring the team back to RFK. Mendelson said that the council has been working with the team for the last several weeks, and they say there is a much improved agreement. There are 2 public hearings set for next week, and DC News Now's Marielle Carbone will have more coming up at 12:30. All right, it is going to be a hot one here in the DMV, and we're going to head over to meteorologist Damon Matson with a check on how it's going to feel. Damon, so it is going to be in the 90s.
Yeah, Shanika, I know you won't complain about warm weather, but is there a certain extent, though, where it's too hot even for you?
Yeah, once it starts to feel like triple digits, I can't.
Yep, I think that's everybody's threshold, and unfortunately we're about to get to that point here as we head toward the end of the week. Now, it's not going to happen here today, thankfully enough, but we are slowly but surely going to dial things up here as we head through the afternoon. Those temperatures are already on the rise, a little bit more so than the last few days this week. We have those air temps in the mid-80s across most of the DMV here for lunchtime, 84 in the district, and look at this, we already have Frederick, Luray up to 88 degrees, and even out toward the I-81 corridor, well, Hagerstown, Martinsburg, and out toward Cumberland even, not that far off from those mid-80s, and that is a few ticks above where our temperatures were this time yesterday. Another sign that we are continuing to just slowly but surely dial up that heat and humidity at the same time. Now, as we head later into the afternoon today, everybody is going to make a solid run back up into the lower 90s, at least by 3 to 4 o'clock, and as that happens, the humidity is also going to be on the rise to the point that we are going to see heat index values later on today in the middle to upper 90s. So that's not too bad. It's a bit of a warm up, no pun intended with that here, as we get through your Thursday, because then tomorrow, that's when the most extreme heat and humidity will be back in play, to the point that we already have heat advisories that have been issued here for the DC metro area, up and down I-95, southern Maryland, and this does extend out into the I-81 corridor, the Shenandoah Valley, our mountain counties in western Maryland, West Virginia, not included yet, but that could very much change as we continue to watch just how hot and humid it is expected to get on Friday. So as we progress through the day and into the end of the week here, what is the most extreme heat index we should be prepared for on Friday? And will there be some storms making a return in this very hot and humid environment over the next few days? We'll have a full look at that forecast coming up for you here in just a bit.
All right, Damon, thank you. Developing now in Virginia, 2 members of the Purcellville Town Council are in police custody. Virginia State Police say Vice Mayor Carl Nett and Town Manager Quasi Frazier are facing bidding and conspiracy charges. However, the move was met with a lot of backlash from residents. And in a statement, members of the Purcellville Town Council says the arrests are a sombering reminder that actions have consequences, and they are now asking Nett to resign from his position in order to minimize distractions. And developing now in Prince George's County, police say 1 person was shot in Chilham. This video here showing the scene at West Park Drive and Fordham Street last night. Police say the victim is expected to be okay, and investigators are looking for 2 suspects who got away on bikes. Anyone with information is asked to call Prince George's County Police. And developing now in Frederick, Maryland, a man is in custody after he allegedly robbed 2 people at gunpoint. One of the incidents happened at around 1 p.m. That was on July 22nd in the 1300 block of West 7th Street. Officers learned that a man blocked a woman's car door and pushed her down in the passenger seat. And the victim told police the man then demanded she give up her purse and allegedly threatened to shoot her. He's being charged with 2 counts of armed robbery. And looking ahead, DC Police is hosting a public safety meeting with businesses next Thursday. At the meeting, officials are expected to discuss rising crime against businesses and solutions to protect businesses. Key areas police are focused on include U Street, Shaw, Logan Circle, and Adams Morgan. And turning now to the White House, they're addressing a new report on the Epstein files, which mentions President Donald Trump's name. Washington correspondent Vinay Simlot explains more.
Multiple sources confirmed to News Nation that Attorney General Pam Bondi briefed President Donald Trump about his name in the Jeffrey Epstein files back in May. Now, the Attorney General stresses nothing in the files warranted further investigation or prosecution.
What a group of smart ones we have in front of me today.
President Donald Trump spoke for nearly an hour at an AI summit, but didn't say anything about the story that's consumed Washington.
You'd have to be head in the sand to say that this is going to go away.
In May, sources say Attorney General Pam Bondi briefed President Trump about his name in the Epstein files. White House Communications Director Stephen Chung responded to the story. The fact is that the president kicked him out of his club for being a creep. This is nothing more than a continuation of the fake news stories concocted by the Democrats and the liberal media. Epstein and President Trump ran in the same social circles, but President Trump said during his first term, he and Epstein had a falling out in the early 2000s.
Republicans brought this on. It was their issue.
House Democrats and some Republicans have called for more of the Epstein files to be made public. They nearly forced a vote to release them, but instead, House Republican leadership canceled all votes this week. Republicans say they expect to learn more.
I do think that they'll probably release something in the coming days.
If we don't, then I expect that there'll be action in September.
A federal judge in Florida rejected the Trump administration's push to try and unseal the grand jury testimony from the Epstein case. Now, the White House says the Department of Justice is trying to get it released in 2 other courts as well. Grand jury testimony is usually kept private, but after a push for transparency, the Trump administration is trying to get it unsealed. In Washington, I'm Vinay Simlot. Back to you.
And happening today, in Montgomery County, County Executive Mark Elrich will sign a federal worker hiring preference. He'll be joined by County Council President Kate Stewart and Vice President Will Jawando, along with several other council members. Also in attendance, WorkSource Montgomery Executive Director Anthony Featherstone and representatives of the Federal Employee Union. Earlier this month, the county passed legislation to create jobs for displaced federal workers. And Washington's Prosperity Campaign is highlighting immigrant contributions to D.C.'s economy. Now, the Nigerian Center is hosting a press conference to launch the campaign, and the event will feature 5 Nigerian American entrepreneurs. The campaign reaffirms the essential role immigrants play as drivers of progress and prosperity across the D.C. metro area. And developing now in Prince George's County, county council members want to open a county-run grocery store. While there are plenty of grocery stores in Prince George's County, the inside of the Capital Beltway, it's harder to find, and that's has one member of the county council wondering if the county should open its own grocery store. And there's no guarantee it will be feasible, but Council Vice Chair Crystal Oriata says the county has to at least consider the possibility for neighborhoods that don't have access to fresh food. And a new study finds Amazon is raising prices on essentials while Walmart is cutting costs. The Wall Street Journal claims Amazon has quietly raised prices on everyday goods by more than 5% on average since January. The Journal analyzed thousands of items. Things like Visine eye drops on Amazon went up to 73% since the start of the year. And Pet Armor Care drops saw a whopping 136% increase, while some Amazon prices appear to be going up. And the report found major retailer Walmart has lowered prices on those same items by almost 2%. And Amazon called the report flawed and told our network News Nation many of the products looked at in that were more frequently out of stock on competitors' websites, which could make them more expensive on Amazon.